now. Oh, I said a lot. All right, so basically, all right, guys. So this is a pretty on-point reading. Might have been caught off a little off guard here because it looked like we would have a little bit of a move higher, so an opportunity at the around the high to open up a long position and then sell it here. And I mean, if you were really nimble, you could, but likely I would have stayed away from that just based on the fact that we have the high correlator here. And with that said, we had a high correlation here right at the open. We have a high here right around the open. And then we have early on in the morning opportunity to open up a short position or protect against long positions, cash in on long positions or hedge against them, that sort of thing. Here with the Princess of Wands, and then boom, we drop. We have another sharp drop towards the 1 to 2 o'clock hour. What is this here? 2-ish, right? U-shaped dip, and then we should have a fake out here. There's a couple of bullish cards here, one at the close and one in the post market. So my sense is that we likely have like a move higher that fakes out which direction we're going, because we have a low correlation for tomorrow's sneak preview cards, indicating that we have a lower low. Also makes sense, we've got the Princess of Discs here, so Princess of Discs, an opportunity to cash in on a position. Lots of trade opportunities here. Lots of trade opportunities tomorrow on the 27th. Interesting, I didn't catch that. Yeah, it's too fat. Significant day tomorrow, guys. Possibly a lower low on the 28th as well, but a move higher, turning resistance into support. So important price level highlighted on the 28th. When we look at the 1 month, so that move, the theme card, guys. All right, awesome. So the theme card was the love card. So a move higher through resistance, followed by you stay there briefly, and then you break back down through that same price level. When we look at the 1 month, right, we've got that move. So one started here, right? We have that move higher through resistance, which I put at roughly 391-ish, based on these two humps, and then we break through it briefly. So we should be breaking back down through it now, especially because we have the new moon here on the 28th. So new moon, generally it's preceded by a market top of some sort. So we saw that top, and we're already coming off of it. We have 2 bullish days at the end of the month as well, but we do have a low correlator there. And my sense is based on that crest moving. That crest was so stretched, my God, I really saw it in the middle of the month, like here. But with all that said, it stretched, and now we should be coming up into a low for the month, which I feel strongly about, that this is a reliable low. Interesting. Well, in any case, a low correlator at the end of the month. I sense a low with this reverse clairvoyant anchor here, a low here. That's an opportunity at a support level, revisiting a recent past opportunity at support level. So likely there. We also have a higher high for the month of August. That's not to say that we don't see a lot of bullish behavior, because or bearish behavior, I should say, because when I look at the August monthly, which if you guys are signed up for the overview, you'll have gotten that in your email. You would have gotten that about a week ago almost. Unless we didn't put it out. We may not have put it out yet because of Kickstarter. Yikes, I have to check on that. Kickstarter became priority on everything. Where's the 1 month? See, the cards aren't looking great on the 1 month either. We go into Mercury retrograde's influence on the 20th, right? And the theme card is the debauch card, so breaking down through into a second support level. You bounce around that support level for a bit, and then you break down through that and multiple support levels. It's mixed with a futility card, which is a move higher even in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds. Yeah, my sense is that move higher is here. And we have a high right at the beginning of the month of August, so that's pretty bearish. There's a bunch of highs here. It's an interesting month. It's going to drop and then bounce along something for a bit before dropping again. And in the midst of that, there's a move higher that's really going to like fake us out. We have 4 local tops this month in August, I should say. One main local low. So we'll get into that. But the point is that likely this high here on the 1st is higher than this level here. You see, it's a high. It's not necessarily a higher high, but it's a high, right? I'd say it would be a higher high if it was a strong indication of high correlations to this. Like I kind of color them in transparently when there's stronger correlations than the other highs or lows. That's what I started doing now, because there's cross correlations and all sorts of stuff going on that really indicates that that's a place. And so we have that, but it's not super strong. So my sense is that we have that, like we go from Wednesday's low, or possibly we open up lower on the 28th or the 29th with a move higher, but the safe bet would be on the 27th opportunity in there, probably to open up a long position on the 27th or the 29th, depending on where we are on the 27th. But a long position that would be sold on, on the 1st of August, in the midst of a big move to the upside and an opportunity to open up a short position in the midst of a decline, or in the midst of a rally. Sorry I wasn't on the last couple days, guys, with the Kickstarter and all the traveling. It's been like, I just was so drained. I would have been really, really grumpy yesterday. My energy was gone. Good to be back. We've got a bunch of stuff coming out. I really got held up in New York. I had to stay an extra week based on like a postponement and a cancellation and another postponement. It was like crazy. So I ran out of stuff to work on while I was there. So we're gonna have like a mad dash here in the last week with a bunch of stuff for August. If you guys have anything that you want me to do, I'm gonna be doing readings over the next few days. So I could likely get it in there if you pop it in the comments here. I'll write it down. I already had some reverse clairvoyant techniques that pulled up shitcoin, Amazon, and BAVA. BAV is the ticker. So those three I'm going to take a closer look at because they just appeared kind of like out of nowhere. Thanks, B. Good to be back. I feel like I was gone forever. Like New York, I was there for 3 weeks. I feel like I've been gone for 6 months. It's like just so much going on. And I was grinding. You're going to see so much footage that comes out here and on TikTok over the next few days. I was grinding, man. I was on Wall Street, like literally stopping people. There was people filming, like probably a commercial for a brokerage or whatnot, and I was like almost harassing these people to stop. And I'm like, come on, let me prove it to you. Like they wouldn't even give me a moment to prove it to them, you know. But I did get a lot of people also that stopped and were interested enough to scan our QR code and. You know, I mean, that's what you got to do. I got the question, well, yeah, if you can do that, then why are you here grinding on the street? And my response to that ignorant individual was, do you know another way to succeed other than grinding? Like, you know what I mean? Like, give me a break, man. I'm on the cutting edge here. People don't believe the cutting edge for a long time. I'll probably be long gone before they really take this shit seriously, you know? And that's what actually the Kickstarter and SO meta-analysis is all about, because that's something that doesn't require me to be there in order for it to continue to benefit people. We're gonna have that relatively soon. We'll have a link for that for pre-launch info and stuff like that. We got a video made. It's looking pretty cool. That'll probably be out on our social media too. And yeah, guys, when you look at this with this 1 month over or this 1 day chart, see that we're moving higher now. So this is a fake out at the end of the day. Yeah, moving in. So we'll probably create a support level and move sideways along it, hit some resistance, then break back down, moving sideways along it, somewhere right around the close, and then a move to the upside in the post market. But we have a lower low the following day based on this correlation. It's also a sharp decline card. And then we have, man, these nullifications on the theme cards are really getting annoying. A lot of nullifications here. There's that moon card though, which it has extra significance because it's what I call a congruency, right? It appears here. It's pre-told of here. Hey, this is the important moment. Boom, here it is midday. The moon card. It's also being pointed at for extra oomph. There's a piece of news that comes out right around noontime. And these are also off of the high and the low card are both decline cards as well. So you mix that with a decline card for the theme card. There's a rally in there that with an opportunity to open up a short position right around here, like let's say probably like after a sharp dip, it'll turn into a price swing when we'll have a move up. That sharp dip midday and then a move up, and that move up is an opportunity. Looks like to open up a short position. Congruency there. I mean, based on where the new moon is, my sense is that we must be going lower. So it goes hand in hand with what I see at the end of the month here, and then into the beginning of August is that we decline because we're going towards a full moon, and as we move towards a full moon, we should be getting a decline. Then maybe like roughly 5 days ahead of the full moon, we see the bottom, you know, on a local scale usually. My sense is we probably open up lower, we gap down tomorrow. There's bullish energy right at the start of the day. There's bullish energy there midday. There's going to be some like price swings in here for sure. Low correlator at the end of the day, which would go hand in hand with the high and low correlators being bearish cards, the theme card being a bearish card, the sneak preview card being a bearish card, and indicating extra oomph to this, I'd say gravitas to this card here, the moon card here midday. And it's a significant day. See, when you have bearish and bearish, for the high and the low, generally that's pretty bearish indication, but not always. You combine it with a theme card. The only thing is that these are both nullified, which makes me think maybe we have something, so there's a move that counteracts them somehow. So maybe we open up with a low and move higher there early in the day. Hard to say, but I would still be bearish based on what I'm seeing here and here. And what I see for the 27th as far as the card, the correlations, and the reverse clairvoyant anchor here, it's very close to a market, a low. So this is likely going to be like, we'll finish the month likely around here. Why don't we do that? Let's put a target in there. So probably have somewhere in August. Let's look at August real quick. That move higher, but it's an opportunity to open up short positions here on the first. Bearish cards. And when we look at the 1 month, what did we say? We're going to revisit a low, so we haven't quite revisited the low from. So end of June, really, boom, was low. Early, and give or take a week or two on all these, because these represent about 2 weeks each of these timeline cards. Give or take a little bit, but so there was that first low right at the end of June, early July, and then we go higher, right, and then we revisit a low. So we should come back down to we should really come back down to these levels here. I don't think we'll see that in July, the price level down here. But there's a very good chance, I should say. There's a good shot here of probably the end of the month. My sense is we revisit those lows at the end of the month of August, based on what I'm seeing. And so these blue stars, guys, these allow me to so these are timeline cards, right? These ones going across, they're timeline cards, but they're sometimes it gets a little stretched or shrunk, or that sort of thing. And so what I was able to do is go in with the 1 day readings, because I had enough time, and find where the correlations, the congruencies to all of these cards in the timeline actually appear in the 1 days. And then I put these little blue stars here so that when I'm reading it, I have a better idea of where they actually appear. So the order of events is the same, but now I'm going to have a much more accurate idea of where we're going to see those events unfold. We won't get like this surprise move. Well, we may, because the thing about a fractal, which is what this is all based on, finding a small version of the fractal, interpreting it into a bigger fractal. The thing about a fractal is that it has a slight permutation. There's that 2% really. So, you have to keep that in mind. But my sense is that we're going back into that low. I'd say I guess I forgot to put it in. I better indicate that. Interesting. Well, we go into retrograde, so that'll like almost reverse like what we expect of patterns and whatnot. I see a low here on the 19th. And a low on the 31st, as well as a notable prominent trough on the 12th. So we're going to revisit those lows. That's my sense. It's going to be kind of like some spikes up on the way down. That's why right here we have a highest correlation to a high here, and on the 1st, and then again on the 25th there's a high correlation. But It's in the midst of a bearish card. It's the Hermit card. So we'll see. I've gone through all of that in the 1 month. So if it didn't come out yet, it will very shortly. And if so, you probably want to hop on that free mailing list by going to tarotfortraders.com and signing up. I have bowling puts expiring August 5th. Nice, man. Let me know how that goes for you. I've decided not to look back for the most part because I'm no longer trading. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this, but I'm no longer trading. I'm now just doing the predictions and that sort of stuff because I feel like when I'm in it, sometimes it skews my judgment. And plus, it takes so much time out of my day because you have to stay focused on the market. So I'll be trading on the shadows of retrograde, on the outside edges of retrogrades from now on. And that's about it. So we're looking for people to throw back some of that money. If they make money with the info from these readings, we ask that they throw back like 3 to 10%, somewhere in there. Nobody's like going to be like, hey man, you didn't throw money at us. It's not, it's like a code of honor sort of thing. And that's what's going to allow us to keep doing that. We got to get money from this Kickstarter, guys. I'm going to be frank with you. We got to get money from this Kickstarter. This Kickstarter needs to succeed for us to continue doing what we're doing. Otherwise, we're going to have to come up with another game plan. So I hope everybody's there willing to, put in their social media efforts to help us along. I'm sure you guys will. You guys are super awesome. And it's also a pretty cool product. So I'll do a Boeing August for you, my man. Anything else you guys want to see? You want info on? Did I do Boeing August? I do so many readings I don't even know if I've done them already sometimes. I did July. I did not do August, not yet, but it's on the list. So I'm going to record XRP, VET, I'm going to record XRP and XRP and Harmony. Some point tonight. XRP and Harmony are going to launch for August, or drop for August. And then I'll put Boeing. Boeing's already on the list, but I'll get that done for you, B. So anyhow, this is kind of like where I see the price level going. What is it doing? There we go. Into this area here. And then if we hit this, if we hit like the 360s, let's say the low 360s, if we get down into this range here, the end of June lows, then I would say that that's probably the revisiting of the low that we were looking for. And I probably will want to be in a position where I'm playing some sideways rotation, some like back and forth, up and down behavior for a bit after this decline. So like if we hit that low, we hit those ranges, we go past where I see it going in this org, like the price comes down to here, that would be an indication to me that we likely already, that's the revisiting that we see here. And it's also the revisiting that I'm looking for correlates to the death card on a 1 year chart scale. Death card is an important bottom, which makes me think this is the bottom that kind of like indicates. I don't think we're going there though, because we see a low correlation at the beginning of September. And my sense is that low in August and that low at the beginning of September are the same low. And they're kind of like towards the end of August. And that would make sense when looking at the 1 month overview for August as well. Look at that, boom, there's that fake out, guys. Don't get faked out by this move to the upside. If you were to open up positions that were at the money and far out in expiration on the long side, you would likely make money because we have this card here, which off of the highs an opportunity to open up a long position. So it gives me the sense that we'll see a high not too far off, higher level than the high here, but for the most part it's all bearish energy. I want to go with with the overall theme to really remain safe, and that's bearish right now, guys. Yeah, you got it, man. Thanks for watching, dude. This is like, I love to do this, guys. I really love to do this. And the fact that there's people out there as crazy as me that see the value of this, it's really awesome. I just hope I can continue to do it, you know? I might have to come up with a different plan, but I sense that we have a product that's Kickstarter worthy. Hey guys, yeah, you can ask a question. What's your question? Shadna? Sorry, I just saw that you asked that, if you're still on. It's actually a good time to ask a question because I have my circles all charged and open, and I'm in the midst of divination. Is it going to happen before retrograde? So the question, guys, is the S&P sell-off in August going to happen before retrograde? My sense is that it starts before retrograde. What we see at retrogrades, for the most part, during the shadow period of a retrograde, so like from the 20th through the end of the month, I think to September 2nd is the pre-shadow. What we see is a lot of volatility, extreme moves, price swings. Generally speaking, like I'd say probably 80% of the time it's to the downside. However, when we actually hit like the moment where we pass into it, so on the 20th where we move into the shadow, that also can be a reversal point. So if we're already bearish, we may see a little bit of a reversal at that moment. My sense is that it's lined up pretty juicy with what we see for lows here. We also have, that's another thing, a congruency here. So the debak card appears as the end of, as the card for the end of August in the 1 month overview. It's the theme card for August in the August overview. Where'd it go? It's the theme card for the August in the August overview. So that's congruency, and that allows me to see where we are in the time frame when we move forward and back and that sort of stuff. There's indications like that that'll bring you back to where you bring you back to understanding where it is on the timeline you are. All right, so that's where we are, right? We've been dealing with this important price level, and now as we enter into August, we'll be entering into debak, and we should see the low at the end of the month. I think it'll likely start. I mean, frankly, it's likely probably already started, the decline, right? We may go to this low that I pointed. Feel free to ask a question. Anybody on TikTok, guys? I'm talking to people on YouTube, but I've got TikTok live, so ask a question, and if I see it in time, I'll definitely answer it for you guys. So to answer you succinctly, is the sell-off in August going to happen before retrograde? I think the sell-off in August is going to happen over the month of August. So it starts well prior to retrograde, but they generally, the sell-offs coincide pretty strongly with retrograde shadows. And I'm going to go into it again. I have some videos on YouTube you can check out, guys, the retrograde strategy. I was able to uncover a pattern that forms 3 to 4 times a year. There's a period of time in the market where the overall behavior of the stock market will do the same. It will do what it's going to do again in about 6 weeks or in about 4 weeks, and that happens based on a planetary signature or planetary behavior that takes place 3 to 4 times a year. So if you pay attention to the first wave, the first shadow, you have a very good idea of what the behavior of the second shadow is going to be. We were able to determine there was a sharp decline approaching based on that behavior in the last retrograde. Right, so the last retrograde, the shadow was from 426 to 510. Let's get a vertical in here. All right, 426 to 510. All right, so we head back and forth sideways and then a drop to 510. Where's 510? Now you have to keep in mind that like these patterns, the planets have weekends. The stock market does not, so it kind of skews the pattern that you would see with the planets. That's one of the features that our platform, our SO meta-analysis platform, is actually going to offer, is the ability to turn on and off weekends so that you can look at patterns better with astrological patterns, geocosmic cycles. All right, so that's the first one, right? That's the first shadow for the last retrograde. And then what did we say? The end of that shadow was June 3rd to June 18th. June 3rd to June 18th. All right, so we had sideways behavior and then a sharp drop at the end of the period of time, right? Then we had sideways behavior with a sharp drop. Started a little bit more than at the end of the period of time, but that's what I mean by you have to be careful of those weekends. The weekends can skew the pattern. It's part of the reason why people haven't uncovered these things, I'm sure, because without the weekends, you can't look at a proper geocosmic cycle, and it's hard to determine what's actually going on. So the point is that pattern repeats sideways behavior with a drop, and then we have sideways behavior with a drop. So we're coming up on that next period where we have this great opportunity, and it's important not to trade in between them, guys. That's retrograde. I lose all my money when I trade during retrograde. It affects me so crazily. But the next one coming up is 820 to 99. So when we get there, I'll have a good indication of what we'll see happening in the market from October 2nd to October 16th. Feel free to ask any questions if you're just hopping on the TikTok, guys. How we finished off. Yeah, see, so there's that fake out at the end of the day. I'll run through it one more time. So you can follow along if you're just hopping on the TikTok. You can follow along on our YouTube channel. We're looking at a live S&P 500 chart side by side with the reading we have for tomorrow, the tarot reading. Today's was extremely accurate, as usual. And we had that fake out right at the end of the day where we started to move higher, right? But we should see a lower low tomorrow. We're also at the upper end of this money flow index here, moving into the end of the day. So if we don't have a big drop, then likely it's all bearish throughout the day tomorrow. If there's not a big drop overnight, we may have a big drop overnight and then it continues to be bearish, but if we do have a big drop, it might just go sideways more so than down. It's hard to say, guys, based on these nullifications, but we do have a low at the end of the day, a cash out opportunity at the end of the day. There's some trade opportunities in here. There's also opportunity to open up a short position in the midst of a rally here between roughly 1 and 2 o'clock. You'll know it because it'll come after a period of price swings, so there'll be like a breakout and then we'll drop through an important support level. It'll be a prominent drop on a one-day chart, and after that drop we're going to turn around and we're going to see another move to the upside that's pretty pronounced. So when that move starts to happen, that's that opportunity to open up a position, a short position, and cash out at the end of the day if you're trying to do a day trade. That's what I would say. Yeah, dude, the retrograde strategy is badass, right? It's because I was aware of retrograde since '07, and I'm so sensitive. Like, there's times in my life in past like several years back where like I was busy with marketing and like that mode of being, and like wasn't really following astrology as much as I should be, and I would know that it was retrograde because all these things would start to happen in real life, and I know I can feel the shadow. I know what it feels like. And so I was able to determine based on me just being aware of it and being, constantly looking at stock market and stuff to uncover that strategy. It was a theory for a while, and that was based on the fact that when you enter retrograde, all these things will stand out, like sudden things. Maybe somebody comes back into your life, you get an opportunity for something, there's a problem, something breaks down. Generally speaking, whatever those things are, you revisit them somehow on the end of retrograde. On the other end, so they happen on, you revisit it. It happens on one end, it happens on the other end, and so with that, it became a theory. I checked it out, and I almost threw it out because there was one year where it went straight bullish in the midst of it. So that's what I'm saying. It's about 80% of the time it'll be bearish. What you can count on it being is the opposite of what it normally would be. So like when you come out of it, there's usually a reversal too, because it goes back to the way things normally should be. Alright guys, I think that's probably it. I'm going to head off and get some readings done for you guys. Love the support, my man. Or all of you really, love the support. It's awesome to be back. Look for a bunch of stuff to come out starting tonight and moving on through the week. We're also going to get out a video on our Kickstarter as soon as possible. So look out for that, my friends. And always comment, as always, if there's comments, if there's stocks or cryptos or anything you want to see a reading for, put it in the comments. I may be able to get to it. We have a limited amount of time before August, and I want to get September and all that done before we move into the retrograde period, so we don't have another recurrence of what happened last retrograde. That's another thing, guys. If you do something in a retrograde, you're more than likely going to repeat it or revisit it in the next retrograde and the one after that and the one after that. It's not like it continues on forever. Eventually, like something happens and it doesn't repeat, right? But you can count on it. So like if let's say you need to get dental surgery, you probably don't want to do it during retrograde for more than that reason. But unless you like having your teeth worked on, you don't want to revisit it every retrograde. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, guys. Thanks, Philip, man. Appreciate it, dude. All right, guys. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Same time, same place. I'm out.